Welcome to Choices with Jeanette. I'm Jeanette Harris, and thank you so much for watching Choices with Jeanette. I really appreciate it. And thank you for telling others to watch Choices with Jeanette. We have some great guests on. My guest is telling us today how to be successful. And sometimes people say, well, it just depends on what you determine what success is. She's successful. And she's successful in a lot of different ways. Number one, she's married to her business partner. And they get along. And their business is doing very well. And they're raising their children to be and to think like entrepreneurs. And I think that is so awesome. And plus, you all love the Lord.
We do.
I mean, can it get any better than that?
No, not better than loving the Lord.
How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Jeanette, and thank you for that lovely intro. I really appreciate that.
No. Now, Taylor Construction Management,
Yes.
you are the CEO.
Yes.
Troi Taylor, your husband, is the president.
Yes.
But you're the founder.
Yes.
Tell me how all that happened.
Well, I think for Troi and I both, we worked in corporate for a lot of years, but for some reason we could never get comfortable there. It would always be something that just wasn't right, regardless of which company we were with. We just could never get comfortable there. And so often we talk about starting a company. I said, I don't think we're meant to be the employee. I think that we're meant to own a company. Let's talk about that. And so we did. And one day I was at work and Troi called and something had happened at his firm he was with. And I said, you know what, let's do it. I said, what do you want the company to be called? And I stopped work, I logged on, and I started to incorporate the company.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we went, after we decided on the name, we looked to see what domain names were available in the scope of what we were looking for. And then we started to incorporate the company. And once that was done, literally, he took off.
Wow.
He took off.
Wow.
After that, he literally took off with it.
Wow. So it's like a pair of tennis shoes, and one of you all is the tennis shoe, and the other one is the laces, so it stays on.
It stays on.
It stays on.
So I get the question often, what is it like to work with your wife? For us, it's really second nature. I couldn't imagine working with anybody else. I'll give you a few examples. So when we talk about our growth plan, or our finances, or our next business pursuit, we can do that while we're watching the 10 o'clock news. We can do it while we're eating breakfast in the mornings. We can do it while we're at a soccer game. So business never really stops. And so it becomes a part of our lifestyle. And for us, we don't feel like we're working because we have each other's back. It's extremely natural. So she understands our vision because she helped create the vision. I understand her goals because I listen to those goals. And so it's just an extension of the marriage and the family dynamic that the business just takes its own life. And so it's super easy. I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else.
Tell me what the company does.
We are a project management consulting firm. We represent the owner. So if an owner gets a budget approved to build a new building, they'll call us so that they have one point of reference. We manage the general contractors, we manage scope, schedule, and budget. And we're really good about making sure that the owner gets what they want. We're very honest up front about what we can deliver within the budget that they have assigned. And so I think that what we've experienced is that a lot of our clients like that transparency. And because we are a small company, you don't have to call 10 people to get to me or Troi. You can call us directly.
So how do you get your first contract? Number one, when I arrived today to do the interview, I don't know why. I just always assumed, because Troi looks like an older man. And so I just assumed he had been doing business for years and years and years and years. I've been in business 32 years. So I'm assuming that he has at least been in there 20. And the success that you all have had, and then I said, so how many years have you all been in business? And we were going around the elevator, and I thought I had missed part of your number. And I heard 4.5. And I said, okay, so how long did you say? And you said 4 and a half.
Four and a
Four
half.
and a half
4.5 years.
In 4.5 years, you all are doing business internationally,
Yes.
nationally.
Yes. It's like I said, it's been a while, right? But first, let me thank you for giving my husband that compliment of being an older, wiser, more mature-looking gentleman. I'm sure he'll like that one. But yeah, 4.5 years. I think it's just a lot of hard work. It's about being true to who you are. That's the main thing. Not, you heard the saying, don't let money make you. And so it's about staying true to who you are. I think when people meet us,
I'm shaking my head, Kelley. I'm shaking my head left and right. I've been in business 32 years. It doesn't, this is so unusual how successful you all have been until, no. I had a small business incubator program for 7 years
Right.
where I helped small business start up and get out there. And this doesn't happen often.
Okay, maybe it doesn't happen often, but it happens. And I think it's about preparation and opportunity intersecting, and that you have to be prepared. So we didn't start the business and not know what direction we wanted to go in. We sought out help. I think that's what a lot of small businesses need to be comfortable doing, is asking for help, for seeking advice, for having informal mentors where you can call and talk to someone. And that's what HMSDC, Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, has been for us. It's been a wealth of information, a great resource for us to go to them and say, we're looking to move into this market. Do you know who we can reach out to? And going to them, and not going directly with our hand out, but going to learn about what they have going on. What are your goals? What are your initiatives? And then coming back and trying to figure out how we can position ourselves to help them meet their goal. And being very, very clear about what we can deliver, being very transparent about the size of our company, and then being accessible to them.
Because a lot of times people are not.
They're not very clear about because as a small business, and I understand that, because your lifeline is on the line, so to speak, especially when it's husband and wife. So you kind of go in there and you want to present that you're bigger than you are. It's like standing taller. But actually, I think it works better when you go in and you're comfortable and you're honest about what you can deliver. Because guess what? Once you deliver, that's a client for life. And then the word gets out that you deliver a good service.
HMSDC has been a lifeline for our company. We always take the approach that if you make their business your business, in return they'll make your business their business. And so HMSDC reached out to us early, 2011, when we first started. They invited us to join committees. We got involved in the MAC committee. I began to chair the Golf Scholarship Committee. Several other committees, the Education Committee, and in exchange, we can trace within 1 to 2 degrees of separation direct contracts that we're working on right now in Texas, measuring several millions of dollars, $100 millions through relationships that we gained through HMSDC. And not only that, but they're always looking for ways. In fact, a conversation with Dick Hubner earlier this year, he said, Troi, look, you guys are doing great, but we want you to do even better than that. So let's talk about the next level. So they're always pushing, and we're always trying to give back. So it's a mutual relationship where we're always trying to make each other better.
So when I met Troi Taylor at Channel 26 to speak on behalf of HMSDC, he was telling me he was in China.
Yes.
You all are still doing work in China,
Yes,
4
we
years
are.
later.
Yes. And that opportunity just opened up so many other opportunities in China for us. And I think the word got out that he did a great job over there. Troi actually managed the very first job, he managed himself, because we did not want to hire someone. We wanted to, I guess, I don't want to say test the waters, because when we started the company, one of the things we said was that we're not going to go in with an out. We're going to go in, and this is what we're going to do. So we have to make this work. And so,
What do you mean when you said we're not going to go in with an out?
we're not going to go in with a plan B to exit right away. Now, you go in with an exit strategy for once you're done with the business or you've outgrown
Absolutely.
it. You have your exit strategy. But we didn't start the business thinking, well, if it doesn't work, because then you've already defeated yourself or you're not going to put forth your best effort possibly.
Starting the business, one of the things that we joked about, but we were very serious about it, was if nothing else, we would get a closer relationship with God as a result of starting the company, because we realized that any success was going to come through God's grace. And so we didn't give ourselves a way out. And so we said, this company has to work. And I think that's a different model. I think that's a different perspective. So when we looked at business, growing the business, working on a business plan, taking care of our clients, we said this has to work. It has to work because our kids, our children needed to see a success story. They needed to see something that when you put faith mixed with hard work, that something tangible can happen that can be great. And so we were very committed to that, and it continues to grow. And so now, taking chances, working hard, being prepared for opportunities is second nature to our children. And they're still elementary kids. But they understand this is where I can go if I work hard and if I prepare and if I'm diligent.
So we went in with, this has to work. It has our name on it. It has our face attached to it. This has to work. And so we were very clear about the way we wanted to do business and service. Service was at the top of our list. We have to deliver a good service. We didn't want someone to say, well, here's an MBE, we need to meet a goal. We want you to hire Taylor Construction Management because you need our service. You know that we're going to provide you with a good service. So if we have to date not taken a project where our role wasn't critical. And that's what we want to do with Taylor Construction Management. We want you to know that we're committed to you, and if our project managers do not deliver, you have a problem, and we don't want that.
Wow. You're not going anywhere, so I'm going to take a little break,
Okay.
and we'll be right back.
All right.
We'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching Choices with Jeanette. You know, I'm glad to see you all are starting to record my show. And you know, all you have to do is just go to your menu and find Choices with Jeanette. And if you go on Ion, if you're watching the 2 shows on Ion, then you can just click record and watch them when you get ready. And I really appreciate you watching. What I need you to do, though, I need you to tell other people to watch as well. Welcome back to Choices with Jeanette. I'm Jeanette Harris, and my guest is Kelley Taylor of Taylor Construction Management, a very successful company. I mean, amazingly successful. You don't see this every day.
Thank you.
You don't see this every day, Kelley. You really don't. It is such a blessing, and
Thank you.
I'm just glad to know that I can actually touch. She's alive. I can actually touch, and it's not a story I'm telling about somebody from 30 years ago. This is actually happening, and it's actually happening now.
Thank you.
And sometimes when people are very successful, it's hard to make sure that, because when he was in China, he was 2 weeks there and 2 weeks away,
Yes.
and 2 weeks here and 2 weeks away. So that gave you all a chance. How did you cope? How did you cope? Because you have 2 children. You have Josh, who is CEO,
Yeah.
who's already preparing, and then
Right,
you have your
right.
daughter
Yeah.
who's reading one of Joel Osteen's
Yes.
books and preparing to be a designer
Yes.
with some of her friends and
Yes.
getting her a lawyer to make sure they can keep all the money.
I know. Yeah.
So how did you keep it together?
Well, that wasn't easy. I'll be very honest with you. When Troi was in China, it wasn't easy because he's a very involved dad. And like I said, we spend all of our time together, literally. I don't even know if that's healthy, but we do.
It is healthy. It is healthy.
Yeah.
My son and I do too, because we're partners.
Right. And so when he was there, because of the time difference, like a 12-hour, 13-hour time difference. So I wanted to see him and spend time with him, and also give him the opportunity to download his day and have an outlet for him. So I would Skype with him at midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning or so. And then you have to get up with the children around 6 and get them off to school. So there wasn't a lot of sleep for me during that time. So it was a difficult time, but I understood what we were doing. I understood that it was going to take hard work. It's not an easy thing. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So I understood. I stayed focused.
So for us, the family is what's most important, and I don't have to credit Kelley for that component. She's always been very careful about that. So when I'm in China, for example, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, which would mean it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. I'm watching soccer, I'm watching basketball, because Kelley keeps me involved. So while she's running the business in the States, I'm taking care of our international component, but she's keeping me involved with homework. I get to watch homework and help with homework via Skype. And so there's so many different outlets and streams where I can still be involved and just not be tangibly here, physically here, but I'm still very involved as a parent.
Wow. So I expect you all to be in other countries. I expect that if I come back and interview you in 2 years, you'll be saying, oh, yes, Jeanette, we're in Dubai, and we're also in China, and we're now doing some things in Africa. So you'll be telling me other countries and continents
I hope
as well.
You're right. That's definitely on our radar. We want to expand our international footprint. So hopefully Dubai, I would love to be in Dubai. I would love to be in Africa. So yeah, we're still doing work in China right now. So we're excited about that.
So for us, international business wasn't our target. We think we were just being obedient at the time to where we felt like we were being led. And so Kelley and I are both faith-based owners. We're faith-based people. And so that was the heart of it. So China opened the door to Vietnam. China opened the door to Europe. And so in 4 years, we've done business on 4 different continents as a result of taking that first project in China. And so now we look at international opportunities as just, that's commonplace. So we open the doors, we're looking at Dubai, and we're looking at Africa, and we're looking at South America, because we realize that if you, again, make their business your business, that's universal. They'll make your business their business, and that philosophy has worked for us.
So what kind of work do you all do? Explain how it is. And you're working, I know you all are doing a lot in education.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And where else?
We are doing a lot of work in education, K through 12, as well as higher education with Houston Community College System, Texas A&M University System. We hopefully will be doing work at Prairie View A&M University System one day. Keep my fingers crossed on that. So
that's your alma mater.
That is,
yes.
exactly. So
and anytime we can go back to the alma mater, we want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that holds a deep spot for us. So we're excited, and hopefully that opportunity will present itself. We're also in aviation now, which is a new market for us. So we're really excited about that. We are doubling in size. We're expected by the end of this year to have anywhere from 18 to 20 employees. Just this year alone, we've already doubled in size, and we're looking to double that. So it's just an amazing time for us. We realize that we're in a good space right now. And so we want to make sure that we are responsible with that. So we look for opportunities to give back to other MBEs. We're going to sponsor a small business, women-owned business, into Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. And so we look for those opportunities that we didn't necessarily have. We're looking at starting an internship program, going into underutilized communities and being able to talk to the students there and just let them know working for someone is good, but working as your own boss or being an entrepreneur is also an opportunity or an option. So I think that we're just, right now, we want to be responsible with what we've been blessed with.
You have been blessed.
So we do business with MBEs within the council for several reasons. A, we have relationships with those MBEs. We see them all the time. So when you can understand a person's character and how they do business, you want to do business with them. And so we find ourselves looking for ways to do business. So our lawyer, our accountant, our professional insurance, our family life insurance, our signage, we could go on and on. Just about every third-party vendor we use, we've met through the council. And so those relationships are a lot deeper than just business-to-business relationships. They end up becoming relationships with friends. So we're looking always for ways to either do direct business or to refer business to our local MBEs because they do the same thing for us.
Now, you're doing things internationally,
Yes.
which is in China. But you made a plan. Your husband told me you made the plan. And the success that you all are having now is from your plan.
Well, I can't.
See how humble she is? Well, okay.
I last year spent, I believe it was 90 hours or more with Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. And in that program, we spent about 3 months or so just going through and dissecting every area of the business, every area, from how much time you spend in the business to how much leisure time you have. It was very granular. Excellent program. And I was able to sit down and really think through, where do we want to be in 3 to 5 years, and what numbers are we expecting in 3 to 5 years, and write this plan out. And it's worked.
And it's worked.
It worked. I think that like, I would not have had the time. I wouldn't have taken the time maybe to sit down and do that without that particular program in that detail of a fashion. And so to be able to lay it ended up being about as thick as our qualifications package here. And so we followed that, and we hit our targets by the end of the second quarter.
Wow, it made that much of a difference.
It made a humongous difference because it focused you. You're not everywhere. Okay, this is a good opportunity. That's a good opportunity. That's a good opportunity.
I know.
We were focused. We
You're
were
all over my toes.
Laser-like focus.
Some of my best shoes. You're all over my toes.
I know. They were on my toes in the program. Because when you're a small business, you want to go after everything because you start to think money, money, money. You need to grow so that you can hire new employees. Well, you have to think, do I want to grow in capacity? Do I want to grow financially? How do I bring these two together and grow them together? And so it helped us to get a laser-like focus, and we strategized and we went after those. We started to build those relationships 4 to 6 months before we wanted to execute the relationships. And so it's worked.
Wow. So, the things you say are the things we hear all the time. This is do this, do this, do that, do this, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. But your growth has been astronomical.
Okay, I'll take that.
It has been astronomical. What would be, if you had to give 2 words of encouragement to someone out there who's saying, my husband and I would love to have a business?
I would say, decide what type of business you want. Decide the process and the course that it takes to get that, to obtain that business. Don't put your family at risk, and then go for it. And I have to say this, Jeanette, before we close, is that we executed everything and everything came together beautifully, but we couldn't do it without God. And Troi and I are very clear on that. And so that's what keeps us humble. We know that the job, the business provides opportunity for us. It provides us opportunity to impact our family, opportunity to impact our community, and opportunity to impact our clients. But it is not our source. And so we stay connected to our source, and that's our belief system.
In God.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being an encouragement to me and to my audience.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.